Well, hello guys, welcome back. Had an amazing experience. I think I told you guys before that I used to serve Vesta as her priestess, and she was with me a very long time. She was the first goddess with me. And long story short, something happened 7 years ago, and after my mom passed away, I knew I didn't have transportation, and I thought it would be neglect to keep the cats as much as I loved them, because I didn't have a way to get them to the vet. I couldn't afford to feed them. I couldn't afford their shots. I couldn't afford anything. So I had to adopt them out, and I kept praying to her to give me a sign. And it was a really painful time for me, because each one I got adopted out, I would sob to her to have them run back home. So it was really bad. And so I took myself out of her service, even though she asked me not to. And I said, I adopted the cats out. I'm not a worthy priestess of Bastet. I'm ashamed of myself. If I were your priestess, blah, 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 I could have found a way. Never mind, I didn't have the money. Literally had no transportation. And I had no way of getting, the animals anywhere if they got in an accident. And the one cat I did keep ended up getting hit by a car, which made me feel even worse. So yeah. And for 7 years, I would not put on her collar. I would vaguely talk to her when she came around. Maybe we would spend some time together, because I love her dearly. She's like my sister and everything else. And, Ices as well. If you get Bastet, you will get Ices, among others. And I finally tonight felt ready to put the collar back on and to work as her priestess. And we went into the club because dancing is sacred to her, sex is sacred to her, sensuality is sacred to her, food, music, and dancing. This is all for her, and we had to do certain rituals before, because I was, acting in the role of a priestess, and those are, to me, what she taught me. She might teach you something different. She's not too big on you belonging to the order of whatever, at least in my experience. So I thought we'd go in and maybe do this really short ritual. 2 hours later, I'm coming out of the club happier than I've been in some time. It was very beautiful. And she talked about remembering that the dancers were her sacred dancers, and, we worked a lot of things that I don't know if I can tell you or not. And of course the other gods and goddesses were with us too, but it was kind of wonderful, because we finally found our temple. I always wanted a temple in VR, and we've tried the VR homes, and it's always not a right fit for every god. And we've tried all the nature stuff, and they're like, it's okay, but the club they all love. And we did a lot of healing energy, and a lot of energy about letting go of stuff, because as you know, like any other pagan channel, I get Christian stalkers that tell me how disgusting and horrible I am because I'm open about my sexuality. This is a channel for adults. I don't get really graphic because I respect you as ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else you like to call yourself, but they think it's disgusting, and they think it's disgusting in the gods I serve. Well, I just kept praising them. I said, thank you so much that we have beautiful sensual dancers, that we have beautiful club in VR, and that I'm so blessed to be able to go in here and to work a ritual, and to work sensual magic, and to work dance magic, or anything else I want to work. So it was a huge, huge blessing to work with her again. Excuse me, sorry. Dry throat. 1 second. Whew, thank you. Once again, coffee cures everything. And it was really beautiful. We'd actually done a ritual earlier, but, I'm Wiccan, so we stopped and we grounded, and that means, like, you come out, you eat, you ground any excess energy into the ground, and you make sure that you're okay, because sometimes the ritual can be really super intense experience and can knock you off your feet. When I was a little witchlet and I didn't have much self-control, I'd be in bed for a couple hours like, that because I wasn't really good at grounding. You have to get that on point. And you'll get it eventually. Don't worry if you're not getting it right away. We're basically setting ourselves up as our own personal priest or priestess. We don't have to use a title if it makes us uncomfortable. But we're dealing with the god directly instead of having someone else do it for us. That's the difference. And if you take on a god form or whatever term you like to use, that's another step. And if the gods decide in VR it's the perfect time to teach you other magics, that's another step. So it was super intense, but I guess I'm lucky that I did all that training. And I'm lucky as Vesta used to you guys know, if you've been on the channel wrong, you know all the endearing pet names she has for me. So it's really beautiful. She was there. Dionysus, Aphrodite, Freya, everybody. Loki and Odin were there, of course, and everyone else. And they were just so happy because they knew I've just been stressing out. And it's weird because as I've been doing research, I'm stumbling across these people going, I'm so torn between being, being a really good, nice Christian, which means no sex and fun, and having Odin call them, and I'm like, I'm over in Camp Odin having fun. It's really sad if I'm eternally damned, which I don't believe, but I'm over in Camp Odin having fun is where I am. So yeah, that's what happened. And it was very good for me. I don't want to go into too much detail because I respect all of you. It wasn't anything impure, though. We have to remember that. It was very beautiful, very sacred, and you can have that kind of sacred, sensual relationship with the divine. It's totally up to you. If you don't feel comfortable, it is not a requirement of working witchcraft, though Bastet will try to convince you very hard about the joys of perfume, body oil, and sensual dancing. She will try really, really hard, and then Isis will show up like, oh, what are we watching? She's upside down. Why didn't we have these in my temple? Now I'm disappointed. So it's everybody's temple. We finally have a VR temple. It only took over 2 years, but it's really beautiful, and they keep working on the ladies, and the ladies are super amazing at this point. You mean, you can kind of tell that they're not real physical women, one, because you're in VR, but there's just the slightest hint that they're not, actual living ladies. I think they were based on actual dancers, though. I think I recognize one of them from YouTube. But it was really, really beautiful healing experience because I had so many fears and anxieties. And we usually don't talk about that, but you can use sensual magic to work out fears and anxieties. Especially all that crap that if you were like me and you were raised Catholic and you had all that crap put in your head that you're a bad person for having sensual thoughts, or you're a bad person for loving these gods, or you're a bad person for any reason at all, it can really help. But it's up to you. If you don't feel called to do it, I wouldn't do it. I think it's definitely a calling. And some people get it and some people don't. It doesn't mean the god or goddess don't love you if you don't get that calling. It just means it's not right for you right now. It might be right for you later on. You might hit 95, wake up one day and go, I know what I'm doing. And that will be when you do it. It's not a requirement. Nothing is required in magic. I know a lot of people say it is, but it's not. And it's not required that you go out and meet god or goddess X, Y, or Z. You behave. Vesta's back here doing her little dance. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm definitely going to be moving Bastet's statue somewhere. She used to have that altar, then that became the ancestor altar, and stuff got moved around, and blah blah blah. So, I will see you guys later. Bye bye.